Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori. If you're returning, thank you for coming back, and this is another weekly plan with me and my Hobonichi cousin. And I'm so grateful that we have technology such as the YouTubes, because I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I smell like a wet dog right now because I changed my clothes, but I had to go help my father-in-law wash off his dog, and she stays outdoors. That's not my personal philosophy when it comes to animals, but we are different. And this is very old Washi, so we'll see how it goes. But I kind of want to do like a green-blue theme this week, so I figured why not. And you can tell it's old because of the way it's coming off the roll there. But, so yeah, I had to help him kind of rinse her off because she's been having some skin issues lately. So he's been trying to maintain her. And whoa, did she stink after she got the water on her. She's a really sweet German Shepherd. I guess to people who don't know her, she looks intimidating, and I guess that's the point. But she's a sweetheart. And so, yeah, I stink profusely. And it's like in my nose, you know? I don't even know if it's like really me. She shook the water on my skin, so I wiped off that. And I'm like, I'm an indoor cat, y'all. Like, I don't go outdoors. That's my husband and his family. I just stay inside and read. So yeah, I had to wash myself off, and then I changed my clothes because the water that she shook got on my clothes too, but I still smell it, so I had to take a shower. But yeah, so you know what, that will look really cute, like a little bullet journal tape moment without even trying, because my washi is just that old. This is some more hand-me-down washi that I got from a coworker who left my library, who wasn't taking this with them. So, oh, come on. So, I don't know. It is hot in Mississippi, grossly so. Like, we're already halfway into June. This coming week, so it's definitely hitting the 90s already. And it's just gonna get worse, and it's gonna be raining, and I ripped that page. Ugh. Oh my goodness, this is why you don't use old washi, because it will either be too sticky or not sticky enough, and either one are not ideal circumstances. So, that's great. But I do like the effect that this is going to make on the top of the page. It's cool. It's cute. I like it. Alright, do the other side. I feel like the colors are very summery, and it has fish in it, so. And every time I go outside, I just want to be in water, because that's the only thing that's cold outside right now, if you're lucky. Oh, it's got a little ship. Okay, that's cute. No. I was just complimenting you. Why are you betraying me? Okay, let's try this again. And if you can hear my chair creaking, it's because I put my furniture together and then I don't maintain it. So that is why. If you do hear it creaking, it's probably just like a loose screw. And I'm not gonna change that. So I was gonna say something. Oh, so I was talking about how I want to be in the cold water when I go outside. And I have kind of found a solution, in that if my brain could think, that would be great. I purchased a $20 kiddie pool from Dollar General, and it looks like a watermelon. And if you happen to be around and knowledgeable of Vine, when Vine was still around in the glory days, you remember that guy who's like, it's a watermelon inside of a watermelon. That's how I feel every time I get in that pool. And it's peak. It is peak summer vibes. So, alright. And I actually am kind of prepared this time. Go me. I did get my work schedule out. And I think what I'm going to do is use these line plants. Maybe I'll use those too. I don't know. So yeah, we shall see. I'm trying to, this last week I got heavy on the stickers again. Like, it feels heavy on the stickers. I love the kit, so I think that's why. But the week before it felt very minimal, and I'm using a lot of the Stitch stickers for like mood indicators, really. But I feel like I was doing better, and then I got to the week where I really loved the kit, and I went overboard again. So I'm gonna try to calm down, reel it back in. So what do I want to do though for highlights and habits and highlights? Same old every week, right? There's something to be said for the routine and the consistency, but I'm not quite sure what that something is, because sometimes I'm just like, again, you know, and then you get into existential crisis mode. All right, so I'm gonna do my little graph thingy here. What do I track? Even though I track it every month. Grooming, meds, and grooming, med, daily tidy. And then we'll go over here. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Alright, and I'm just going to keep using my Twisby Eco, and it has Diamine Earl Grey in it, and I like it. It's like a very subtle gray, and it just, I don't know. It makes me feel as though I'm Jane Austen in the 1700s, writing to my sister about Tom Lefroy and how he's betrayed me. Maybe it's just me. But so I think, let me see. But does it match the vibe though? Like, is it, I don't know. I don't think I care, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. This weekend has been amazing. I've just been chilling. Been doing a lot of reading, like a ton of reading. So I finished up the book Room by Emma Donoghue, and if you've never heard of that book, woof. So it was adapted into a movie with Brie Larson in it a while back. I don't know how many years ago, but it's been a minute since it came out. And so the rundown on that book is that let me grab my brush pen. But the rundown on that book is that it's through the eyes of a 5-year-old boy named Jack, and he lives in a room with his ma, and he like names all of the furniture and stuff. So like bed is bed, and he gets really super attached to his surroundings, and you come to kind of realize that Jack is actually the product of this man who sexually assaults his mother every night. It's real cheery. Not funny, but you know, so you find out that like Jack is in room, and he's always lived in room. He's never seen the outside of room because his mom was actually abducted by the captor who keeps her in the room, and the captor is Jack's father. And I mean, that's as far as it goes. Like, he and Jack, like, Jack's mother keeps them very separated. She never lets her abductor, like, really see Jack, and she tries her hardest to protect him. But the whole book is through Jack's point of view. So it's through a 5-year-old's point of view, and it's very, like, it's extremely hard to read. So I finished it, and I'm kind of excited to be moving on, because yes, it was a good book, but it was pretty dark. So yeah, that's what I finished I finished it this morning. And then I am starting a couple of different things, but I don't know what I'm going to start for fiction. I think for fiction, I'm actually going to be reading a book I've never read before, and that would be Catcher in the Rye. I was never required to read that, so I think I'm gonna read about that little butthole. From what I've heard, he's not a good kid. I don't know. We'll see. I've just never heard anything good about Holden Caulfield, so but I'm also reading a nonfiction about the Mississippi Delta. Ugh, I always run out of room for highlights because I start too fat in the beginning. But this is, I can grab it. So this is the book. It's Dispatches from Pluto. It's a really, like, the writing. I'm not even into, so I was just reading the foreword, or the prologue, and then the first chapter. And I mean, I've already got stuff tabbed off because his writing is really great. Like, the sky yawned open and the horizons leapt out. The light turned golden and radiant, pouring down on shimmering fields of cotton and corn and soybeans. I came across primordial interruptions in the empire of modern agriculture. Remnant swamps of cypress and tupelo gum, stretches of thick jungly woods. The writing is chef's kiss to me. So I'm excited to read this, but I'm going to get my own copy. This is like a book club copy, and I want to, like, underline, highlight, like, I'm literally only at the first or the second chapter, and I stopped. I had to physically restrain myself from reading more because I wanted to write in it so bad, or like highlight stuff. So that's a nonfiction, like, I don't know if it's a memoir really, but travel log. Yeah, so anyways, that's that one. And then I'm also reading this one to kind of learn about child development a little bit deeper. And it actually gives 74 claims related to child development. And it actually, like, the introduction is more so about logical fallacies and critical thinking and how it applies to child development myths and misunderstandings. So it actually gives you 74 myths and misunderstandings and gives a rebuttal for each one. So that is my reading. We'll see how it goes with old Mr. Caulfield. I'm sure I'm going to be annoyed, but maybe I shouldn't go in with the idea that I'll be annoyed, because I feel like that's self-manifesting or something. Like, if I go in thinking I'm gonna be annoyed, I'm gonna be annoyed, you know? So I'll update y'all next week about how that went, because it's kind of short, so I think I'll be able to read it. Unless I really don't like it. So, alright. I work Monday through Thursday again. Are you dry? Guess we'll find out. And I'm still listening to The Librarian is In. So that's kind of been like my hyperfixation podcast, and it's highly specific, but I really, really enjoy it. And I'm honestly, contemplating writing an email to them once I finish up like my backlog of episodes and being like, okay, I'm one of your dragons who hoards your podcast episodes and I ran out of my stash, so when are you coming back? Just to see. Maybe they'll answer me, maybe they won't. And then as far as like watching, I've really just been watching a lot of YouTube. But outside of that, like for TV shows, I'm in and out of Sailor Moon Crystal right now. Because I finished Sailor Moon, which is like 200 episodes. So go me. It only took 2 years, because I don't binge them. I mean, I do binge, but like, I'm not like killing myself to do it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'll watch maybe like 4 episodes in a row, but they're only 30-minute episodes, so it is what it is. But Sailor Moon Crystal, I don't know what I thought, to be honest. So Sailor Moon Crystal is like a retelling, but more condensed, and it's not 7 seasons. Well, I think Sailor Moon's 7 seasons. That's not the point. It's not 7 seasons or however many seasons the original show was. It is 3 seasons, and I feel kind of controversial in saying that I kind of like the new one better, because I mean, the original Sailor Moon was a product of its times, okay? Like mid-90s hype of anime era. Ooh, I'm sorry if you caught that shaken, but like the hype of the anime era, and like Usagi was in middle school, and then she meets Mamoru, who's in college, and that felt weird. It stays weird for like half of the show, and then she finally moves up to high school. It's still weird because Mamoru is still in college, like, you know. But I guess like in the 90s, that wasn't really the aspect that people were paying attention to, or that was just, we were hypersexualizing children a lot harder, or a lot more overtly than we are now. Like, I'm not saying it still doesn't happen, but it's just a lot more shameless back then, I guess. 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So yeah. Sailor Moon Crystal, like, tells the same story, kind of. It really condenses it and makes it more concise in a way that, like, it feels way more, I don't know. Like, you can tell they recreated Sailor Moon Crystal for the fans of the original show who grew up watching it, because it maintains the same story, but, like, the original Sailor Moon is kind of like how Pokemon is, and, like, all of the original, not, like, all the original anime shows in the early 90s, right? Like, it follows a very straightforward formula, and you have like little plot development as you go on, and it takes like seasons to get a plot arc completed. Some of them anyways, and then like, so that's kind of how it was for Sailor Moon in the beginning. Like, you had one season would have, every episode was kind of the same, but you have like small moments of development, and then like the filler episodes where they went on holidays were like recap episodes. But Sailor Moon Crystal is kind of like the reinterpretation of Sailor Moon for watchers of today's type of anime, or not even like for people who want to watch it but don't want to spend 200 episodes to understand the story, I guess. So I'm already in season 2, and I'm just, the animation's a little weird to me because it's a lot like, I don't know. It feels like while the 90s plotline was good, the 90s plotline was like dragged out and long, the animation in the 90s was like what I'm used to, and it looks like what I think anime characters should look like. But the Sailor Moon Crystal one ironically kind of looks like what people were trying to go for in real life in the 90s, with like the very skinny, underfed type of look. Like what I guess some people are trying to say that like Gen Z models are trying to go for now with like Bella Hadid and all of those girls. It looks like the anime version of that, and it's kind of weird. So I try not to look at it. That sounds weird, but I don't know. It just looks funny to me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me try to like stop rambling on about this show and actually do the plan with me. But yeah, so I like Sailor Moon. It's pretty good. Basically, like if you've heard about it, but you've never heard about Sailor Moon, the concept is that there's this girl named Usagi Tsukino, and you find out that in a former life, she was like a princess to the Moon Kingdom, because like back in the day, I guess, in this world, the moon was, had its own people, I guess, I don't know. But so Usagi was the princess or whatever, and the Moon Kingdom was like destroyed, and she's living her reincarnated life as this girl on Earth, and she finds out about her, like her real life through her, let's see, what would Luna be called? I guess it's like her mentor or her advisor through this like black cat who can talk, and her name is Luna, and she kind of advises Usagi on what to do. And in the original Sailor Moon, the development is very slow to like, so the original show follows Usagi's transformation into Sailor Moon, and then the rest of the Sailor Guardians transformations, because there's like Usagi Sailor Moon, there's Sailor Mercury, Sailor Venus, Sailor Mars, Sailor Pluto, you know, like all the planets. And they're like some Sailor, like, okay, so if you think of it like the planets, you have Sailor Moon in the middle because she's the princess, and then you have like 4 core guardians, and then you have the outer guardians for the outer planets. So some of the guardians are always going to be in the show, and then others like come in and out. So I low-key will forget about them. I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot she exists. So, but that's like the concept of the show, is that Usagi has been reintroduced to her, what's the word, her true identity or whatever, and she has to protect the world from evil. So she be doing that. How do I want to mark off my programs this month though? Like, I like the colors here. We're vibing with it. Should I do a dot marker? But my thing is, what dot marker? Because I have like a lime green one, but that seems like it would be too much. This is kiwi. But I think the kiwi one, if I'm, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But that would get my attention. Or should I go with the blue? I'm gonna go with this one because I feel like there are pops of that color enough to justify it. And if I hate it, I hate it. I don't know. But anyways, so, and then like later on in the show, Usagi's future child comes back in time, and her name is Chibiusa, because Chibi in Japanese means like mini or small, and her name is also Usagi, so like they abbreviate it to Chibi and then Usa for like the first half of Usagi. Not that you guys, I don't know, you may not care, but we're learning about the plot of Sailor Moon today in this Plan With Me. You're welcome, I guess. So I have DIY soap. Why do I think these things are good ideas? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa. I'm gonna have to chill on my dots. All right, and then 10. I really got to figure out that wearable wooden bracelet situation because I'm supposed to duplicate it the next day and I have no idea how I'm going to do that. And then for like the one at the other branch, I do think I am going to go with the other dot marker. Just so I can like give myself that mental note that that's not at the same place these green ones are. And this is at 1. Okay, so do I have anything else program wise? Let us see. And once we get to this week, I'll do like a 6 months worth of weeks flip so you guys can see like my weeks, and then I'll probably do like a rundown of how I use my other pages because like I have a mindfulness toolkit that I reference, reading log, that kind of thing. So let's see, I don't have anything on that Thursday. I need to check in with my mom. All right, so this is story time. And then that's the DIY soap. So this is a teen program that I'm gonna do. And then these are the children's programs. And the logistics with this is what's making me nervous because I think you're supposed to boil like popsicle sticks in order to get them to be malleable enough to shape them into a wooden bracelet. But if I have as many kids as we had last week, I'm not sure about that. I feel like it's going to be very time consuming and not everybody's going to be able to get to do what they want. So I'm a little worried about that. I think I'm going to do a test run somewhere on Monday. Just to kind of see what the gist of it is, and then I will change it to a different craft if necessary. So same thing for the teens out at that branch. And that is, I think that's what I'm working with this week. I don't think I'm doing a ton else. Because I mean, it's just summer programs, try to survive, man, you know, like it doesn't seem like it looks like a lot, but when you have a very intensive craft with multiple steps, and then you also have like anywhere from 20 to 30 kids showing up, it's a lot. I run around like a chicken with my head cut off most days, so but I want to get a little, I guess I could use one of these, but I can't write on that as well. Well, I'll use my, what should I use that? That would fit the vibe. And I could write on it with something. It's so big though. Do like a little one. Yeah, that's better. And then I can just put the plant facing that way. Put my little trash can. And I am going to write this with a gel pen because, not the 0.7 though, that's going to be intense. Which one of you? So I have like an inner gel Clint in the 0.3, but it's almost too tiny for me. But in situations like this, it's perfect. Okay. What else? I think, so my mom may be coming for this weekend, but I'm not sure. I'll have to ask her about that. I mean, I like I said, I don't think I have much else. I think these little thingies, but I don't think they're fully matchy. Not that they have to be. Oh, you guys, so this reminds me, like I'm looking at the plants and whatnot. I just read a children's book, so because I'm a children's librarian, I try to read a lot of like middle grade chapter books and whatnot. And y'all, I read this book called Free Water, and I'll put a picture up on the screen. It was fantastic. It was about this little boy named Homer, and he escapes from the plantation he lives on with his sister, and his mother is trying to lead them to freedom, and she actually gets caught, but they stay far away from the slave catchers to essentially like get free. So they're kind of on their own, and they actually get picked up by this guy named like another man named Suleiman, and he takes them to this hidden what is the term? So it's a hidden community within the swamp land of like Virginia, I think is where it's set. Maybe South Carolina, I'm not sure. But essentially, my brain, man. Essentially, Homer and his little sister Ada end up being taken to this secret community of formerly enslaved people who actually ran away, and they've been essentially like living and thriving in the swampland since then. And Homer ends up like creating a home there with his little sister, and then they end up going back to the plantation to rescue his mother. Y'all, it was so fantastic. It was so cool to see that. And like, the author did a lot of research on these kinds of communities because they did exist back in the day, and I never knew that until I read that book. The cover is phenomenal. I love the cover, and it actually switches between Homer's perspective and a lot of different perspectives throughout the community, so you don't just get his view of one thing. Ooh, it was so good. I want to put something down here because I always do. And then I put the time to refresh there for the weekend. I feel like that looks good. What is that? Oh, no, that was should do one of these tiny ones. Do right there. I'll do another tiny one right here. But I feel like this is, so, I don't know. It's giving very much the vibes of that book for me, with like the different plants. I mean, I don't know what else to put. I mean, that was a pretty quick plan with me. Or maybe it feels quick, but I'm 33 minutes in. I'm gonna put this one up top, just to, you know, kind of give myself that little reminder. And then what I'll do, one more thing. I'll do this, because, whoa, it hopped onto the page. Because I have a bill due this day. I'll write that in. And this is payday, so I could put a payday thing or something. You know what? I'm gonna put this one over here because I feel like it's encouraging. you know? Let me get a flag or something though. This watery one? Does it work though? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't, but it's going on there. Okay. Payday. Where do I want to put that? Could just put it. I'll use one of these. No. Not one of these. Put it right here. And then I'll just write it with this even. Oh, that's not straight. Not straight, not straight. Are we shook? We are not, because that happens to me every freaking time I do one of these. Nope, still not. Ugh. It's because I have a hump in this book because of how much I put in here. Alright, so I'll do... Maybe this will help me remember. Okay. But yeah, I think that's my week, y'all. It looks very straightforward and to the point, but it's gonna feel a lot more like some work than it looks, that's for sure. I really like the way this came out. Like, this is, so I used Tombow 192 and 312, and I love the way 312 especially looks on the paper. I think that's gorgeous, and I love the contrast and the way it matches with the like floral and fishy washi tape. This is like, whew, I love it. I love this. Okay, all right, well, that is all for me. That's my week in a nutshell, and I hope your week goes well and that... Wow, that's very out of frame. Sorry about that. But yeah, I hope your week goes well and that you have a great time. Nothing's too stressful, and yeah, that you just have a really great week. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you'll consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. It helps me grow my channel, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.